It was October 12, 2024, 6:42 a.m. off the coast of Puntland, Somalia. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the most advanced aircraft carrier ever built, worth $13.3 billion, is suddenly under threat off the coast of Somalia. A swarm of heavily armed pirate skiffs has surrounded the carrier in the choppy waters of the Indian Ocean. Engines roar, small arms flash, RPGs are ready. Every radar lights up, sonar scans the surrounding waters, and missile defense systems stand primed. Not a single shot has been fired, but tension grips the crew. One wrong move, one delayed order, and chaos could erupt in seconds. This isn't just a story about firepower, it's about control, precision, and split-second decision-making. While this scenario is dramatized, it illustrates the razor's edge of naval strategy against high-risk asymmetric threats like Somali pirates. The USS Thomas Hudner, a guided missile destroyer, cut through 6-foot waves as part of the Gerald R. Ford Strike Group's routine patrol. For the Americans, it was a standard security operation in international waters. For the pirates, it was a chance to strike. Orders flew across the bridge: monitor, contain, be ready to respond. At 6:45 a.m., the Thomas Hudner's radar picked up multiple fast-approaching skiffs, their engines cutting through the choppy waves at high speed. The skiffs swerved aggressively, weaving in and out of each other as they attempted to breach the carrier strike group's defensive perimeter. Crew members tensed, fingers hovering over controls, while pilots prepared for immediate launch. Sonar operators scanned below the surface, tracking unusual underwater movements, anything that could indicate divers or submerged explosives. The pirates had speed, numbers, and desperation on their side, but the Americans had technology, training, and overwhelming firepower. Every radar blip, every sonar ping was analyzed, calculated, and countered in real time. By 6:50 a.m., the pirate boats closed to within firing range. Grappling hooks flew through the air, and small arms fire cracked across the waves. Defensive systems locked on instantly, alerting crew and illuminating potential threats. Helicopters lifted off with precision, their rotors cutting through the morning mist. E-2D Hawkeyes circled high above, scanning the horizon with radar systems capable of tracking multiple targets simultaneously. Automated CIWS turrets spun into position, ready to intercept any incoming projectiles. And still, not a single shot was fired. The U.S. Navy orchestrated a perfectly controlled response, ready to neutralize threats, yet avoiding unnecessary escalation. At 6:55 a.m., one pirate skiff attempted a daring ram on a patrol boat. The bridge crew calculated the trajectory within seconds and launched a harpoon missile warning, an unarmed demonstration designed to deter without destruction. Small arms fire from the skiffs bounced harmlessly off defensive shields, while radar-guided warning flares streaked into the sky, painting a vivid message. Any aggression would be met with overwhelming force. Discipline and control dominated chaos, every action choreographed to assert dominance without bloodshed. By 7:02 a.m., the Ford's helicopters took off in full force. MH-60 Apaches hovered low, scanning the surface for movement, while MH-60 Seahawks dropped flares that illuminated every skiff and shadow across the water. Drones patrolled the sectors between skiffs and the carrier, feeding live visual data to the bridge. The pirates attempted evasive maneuvers, but every turn, every acceleration was tracked, mapped, and countered. The Americans weren't just defending, they were controlling the battlefield. Radar operators, sonar technicians, and bridge officers worked in perfect coordination, each aware that a single mistake could escalate the situation into a firefight. By 7:10 a.m., several pirate skiffs began to lose cohesion. One skiff collided lightly with another in the confusion, forcing the attackers to temporarily halt their approach. The crew of the Ford and its escorts took advantage of every hesitation, repositioning vessels, adjusting air patrols, and maintaining situational dominance. Even as the pirates tried to regroup, electronic warfare systems jammed communications, scrambling GPS devices, and leaving attackers disoriented. By 7:15 a.m., the pirates began to retreat, recognizing their asymmetric assault had failed. The strike group had neutralized the threat without firing a single missile. The Ford's presence, discipline, and technological superiority had enforced deterrence, yet the operation was far from over. intelligence reported potential reinforcements approaching from the Somali coastline. The USS New Hampshire, a Virginia-class submarine, had shadowed the waters undetected for hours, ready to respond to any incoming threats. On the surface, unmanned drones launched to survey suspicious activity, feeding live video back to the command center. The Americans maintained complete situational awareness across every domain: air, surface, and subsurface, ensuring no threat could materialize without detection. By 7:45 a.m., pirate reinforcements arrived, attempting a coordinated attack. The E-2D Hawkeye and Growlers created electronic interference, jamming communications and navigation systems of the approaching skiffs. Patrol boats intercepted and corralled the attackers, while FA-18s circled overhead, demonstrating overwhelming presence without escalating to lethal force. Throughout the morning, tension remained high. Every radar ping, every sonar blip, every suspicious movement could trigger escalation. Crew members worked with split-second precision, coordinating aircraft, ships, and submarine movements as if conducting a complex ballet. The pirates, now exhausted and disoriented, realized that attacking the Ford strike group was impossible. Crew members kept constant communication, adjusting defensive patterns, launching drones to track flanking maneuvers, and analyzing every approach vector. Even a single misstep by the pirates could have been catastrophic, but their exhaustion made them predictable. On the flight deck, pilots ran final checks, their helmets gleaming under the harsh sunlight, ready for immediate deployment. The E-2D Hawkeye's radar painted an unbroken picture of the surrounding waters, detecting any sudden accelerations or attempts to regroup. Sonar technicians aboard the Thomas Hudner meticulously monitored every acoustic signal, listening for divers or small submersibles that might be attempting to approach the fleet unseen. Every ping and echo was cross-checked against the naval database, ensuring that no threat went unnoticed. The strike group's drones buzzed overhead and along the perimeters, providing live feeds to bridge officers who coordinated defensive positions with a precision born of months of training. Automated CIWS turrets tracked every skiff that dared to approach, while electronic warfare teams disrupted communications between pirate vessels, turning coordinated attacks into disorganized chaos. Even environmental factors were taken into account. The shifting winds, the glint of the sun off the waves, the slight currents, all influencing the movement of both pirate skiffs and patrolling vessels. By 8:30 a.m., the pirates attempted a last-ditch maneuver, trying to split the defensive line and flank a patrol boat. Instantly, fighter jets roared into position, executing simulated attack runs overhead. The psychological impact was profound. The pirates realized that the fleet's reach extended far beyond what they had initially anticipated. Every movement was tracked, logged, and analyzed in real time. Deck crews adjusted the firing arcs of defensive systems, even while maintaining readiness for a real engagement that could erupt at any moment. By 10 a.m., the skiffs were visibly exhausted, engines sputtering, crew shouting orders that barely coordinated over the electronic jamming. Attempts at intimidation failed. Their lines of attack collapsed under a combination of aerial surveillance, tactical repositioning, and precise naval maneuvering. The USS New Hampshire, a Virginia-class submarine, silently adjusted its position below the surface, maintaining a lethal but invisible presence that ensured any hidden threat would be detected and neutralized. By noon, the threat had fully dissipated. The strike group had enforced maritime security, demonstrated deterrence, and neutralized a high-risk asymmetric attack, all without firing a single lethal shot. The pirates retreated, humiliated, and the waters were once again under U.S. control. This operation was a masterclass in modern naval strategy. Layered defense, aircraft, drones, electronic warfare, surface ships, and submarines allowed the U.S. Navy to maintain dominance without unnecessary escalation. Restraint, discipline, and professionalism became the ultimate weapons. Now consider this. If one pirate had managed to breach the perimeter and damage even a single patrol boat, the scenario could have spiraled out of control in minutes. The stakes were global, yet the U.S. Navy's training, technology, and strategic foresight prevented catastrophe. Off the coast of Somalia is a lesson in deterrence and operational mastery. It shows that modern naval power is not only about firepower, it's about control, coordination, and precision. One wrong move by the attackers could have been fatal, but one right move by the Navy ensured safety and supremacy. So here's the final thought. The U.S. Navy doesn't bluff. It doesn't hesitate. And when provoked, it responds with precision, professionalism, and overwhelming control, enforcing maritime dominance across the globe. If you're still watching, drop your thoughts in the comments. How would you have handled this pirate threat? And don't forget to like and subscribe, because understanding modern naval power and deterrence has never been more critical.